Welcome to the Fully Mindful, where we explore what it means to live with intention, creativity, authenticity, and connection. I'm your host, Melissa Chereau, mindfulness and breathwork facilitator, neurodivergent lawyer and coach, and fellow human navigating this wild and beautiful ride we call life. On this podcast, we dive deep with interviews featuring inspiring guests, share solo mini episodes packed with guided mindfulness practices to help you center and thrive, and mix things up with Tangents and Sidebars, where my friend and fellow podcaster Debbie Harrell from the New World Normal joins me for some real, random, and meaningful conversations. So if you're ready to pause, reflect, and expand, you're in the right place. Let's get fully mindful.
You are now live. Here we are. Tangents and Sidebars. Melissa Chereau and I. Oh, it's telling me I just started a live. Yes, thank you, Captain Obvious. That awkward moment while you're waiting for your friend to join you. Hello. We're going to be talking about, honestly, I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about. We had planned to talk about busyness in the holidays, but then Melissa came up with a few more ideas, so who knows? As we know, this show is all about the tangents and the sidebars when two neuro-spicy coaches get together and try to stay on one topic. There she is. I don't have much witty banter today. Just go with the awkward silence. Are we comfortable in silence? There you are.
Yeah, that was weird. That took a little while this time, huh?
Yeah, what happened? Was it me? Was it you?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I still can't figure out how to do this without that awful glare. So I'll be blind.
I'm comfortable with the glare.
Vision challenged.
Vision impaired.
There we go. That's my brain is not braining. I've been because I'm moving my website.
Oh yeah.
So I'm now transferring all my blog posts, aka podcast episodes. So it's very repetitive, and I feel like it's draining my brain.
It's okay. I was at my day job today, so my brain is super drained.
We're going to be quite fair.
We did have a cookie contest. That's a new thing, and I'm happy to report this is a good tradition to have at one's office party. So everybody brings however many people there are at said office party cookies. And then there are judges who decide, based on taste and presentation, which cookies are the winners, and there are prizes. Ours being a government office, not the best prizes, but you still get it right. We did not win, but they were still really good. And then you get to take home all of these other cookies, which are super yummy. I'm sure other people have done this a million times, but there's a lot of sugar going on in my brain.
We did cookie exchange at my old office job. And that was fun because then you'd end up with a bunch of different types of cookies.
Yeah.
And then you could repackage them and take them. So
if you want to.
You didn't have to bake 20 different kinds of cookie, and you would have 20 different kinds of cookies. But what I miss, and I actually thought about it the other day because I walked by the office and I was like, oh, I wonder if it's potluck day. Because this one woman made the best baked beans, and had they're from scratch and all these different beans, types of beans. They were so good. I still think about it.
We used potluck day. I think that was less of a success. I think people in my particular office are far better than they are at cooking. So.
And I've gone to a few potlucks over the last couple of weeks, and I've been doing roasted Brussels sprouts every single time. They're so good. So good.
It would be interesting to know what people's favorite food item is during the holidays. I know one of mine used to not be Brussels sprouts. When I was growing up, my sister used to chase me around the kitchen with Brussels sprouts.
Well,
and
I feel like I had the same experience with Brussels sprouts as a kid, but I also feel like they were boiled or something.
In fairness, they were very well. I would agree.
And it was probably out of a frozen packet, like so frozen and then boiled. They were not good.
Yeah. And I remember they were my sister chasing me around this one time, and I probably had like my mouth kind of hanging open, like ew or something like that. And she hoisted one somehow from a kitchen, and it somehow fit in, and I vomited the kitchen floor. And she's like, "You're gonna have to clean that up." And I'm like, "I'm gonna tell mom."
Oh, holiday memories.
Here at Tangents and Sidebars, you too can have your favorite holiday memories. And hopefully none of you are actually eating dinner right now.
Right, as we're talking about vomiting on the kitchen floor.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I'm interested in what people's favorite holiday or maybe most unfavorite holiday memory is, or maybe weird family tradition. That would be interesting. What's yours, Debbie? What's like the weirdest family?
Yeah, we had, my family was pretty dysfunctional, so not a lot of fun holiday memories. But we did have this tradition. It was an old box, and I feel like it was a girdle box of some sort, and it was tradition that you would keep that box and wrap somebody else's present in it the next year. So like whoever,
Girdle.
yeah, like I feel like it was like a bra or a girdle or something, embarrassing or funny that you would then wrap somebody else's gift in, and every year that box would show up and someone would get it, and it would be like, I don't know.
Pretty funny. I do know, like when my maternal grandmother was still alive, one of the things was somehow we always like Christmas Eve dinner. They were really Catholic, so we always had fish. But somehow we also always had the green jello with an apple on the bottom.
Ooh.
Somehow, like why? Like meat wasn't okay, but that was okay. Because I think that's made of gelatin. But anyway, I digress.
Gelatin has, I was like, what? I'm not following. But yeah, gelatin does have.
Yeah, it was just offensive because it's jello with pineapple in it.
That fruit salad with the whipped cream and the jello and the fruit thrown in there. It's fruit salad.
And it's really weird because actually my grandparents were really good bakers. So we had like these other things that I can't remember they were. They looked like little mini croissants with some kind of almond paste inside, and they were delicious. So like, and we used to sneak, they would make hundreds of these things. And my sister and I would like go sneak them, probably hundreds of them in the middle of the night and go eat those things. Why didn't it just rely on those instead of the jello with the pineapple? I'm not sure, but there you have it.
It was probably tradition from when they were a kid.
Some kind of weird tradition. It was not Polish because I'm pretty sure they didn't have, well, maybe they did. Who knows? Maybe they had green gelatin in Poland. Not sure. Anyway, see? Tangents and sidebars. See what happens?
I'm letting you lead. I'm like, I don't know, where are we going? What are we talking about? I did prepare to talk about busyness, but
talk about busyness again because it's, as I said, germane, which Apple phone capitalized because it is a name, germane.
I noticed that.
Germane.
Yes, relatable.
Tell me how you prepared for busyness.
Well, I took my glasses off, so I really can't see my notes anymore.
Okay. You remember that you prepared for?
Well, no, it's funny. Well, and I did because one of the big, I don't know what it's called, promotions, but events that I've done the past few years in New World Normal has been the hygge for the holidays. A couple of years ago, I did the hygge bingo card. Last year, I did an email challenge where every day they got an email with a way to, slow
challenge like me. It also could be called hygge or hig.
Higgy.
Or
get higgy with it.
Hygg.
Get higgy with it.
Yeah.
Don't want me doing that. Yeah, so I was like, oh, I should have that available in case as we're talking, people are like, oh, I might want to get hygge or higgy, or basically slowing down and doing the warm and cozy things of the holidays as opposed to the commercial and glitz and glammy things of the holiday. So I did. I found the bingo card and put it in a spot where people can now download it if they want. So I could throw the link is actually in my bio. That's what I'm trying to say. Link in bio. You can download a Hygge for the Holidays bingo card.
What's your favorite activity that is a hygge, whatever that is?
If you think about it, like you want to get a hygge, I want to have a hug. The hygge, a hug. I don't know. That's how I finally remembered it. Mine is the non-activity, the cozy on the couch with a cup of tea. I deal with the fireplace, but I don't have a fireplace.
Right
yeah,
now?
Something like that. Yeah. Maybe a candle, a Christmas movie, the non-activity activity.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey everybody, it's Melissa with the Fully Mindful. Hey, have you been wondering about breathwork? I know you have. Here is a very unique opportunity. On Thursday, December 19th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, I am doing a free online conscious connected breathwork, and December's theme is Unwind Your Mind. Breathwork to restore and recharge for the holidays. All you have to do is sign up at Eventbrite. You'll see that in the show notes. And so just sign up at Eventbrite, or if you don't see it in the show notes, go directly to thefullymindful.com and you'll see the link there. You're going to step into a truly transformative experience that goes well beyond the ordinary, and we'll be using conscious connected breath work to harness the power of deep rhythmic breath to release holiday stress, unlock emotions, and clear mental clutter. This is not just relaxation, friends. This is a journey inward to discover your inner calm, cultivate clarity, and rejuvenate your spirit. You deserve it. Yes, you do. So join me on Thursday, December 19th at 5:30 Pacific. Go to Eventbrite or go to thefullymindful.com to sign up now. I like that too, although I find it really hard for me to get there, much as I espouse that as an aspiration and, an activity, non-activity to get to. I recently saw, I should say, I don't know if I saw the psychic. I had a call with a psychic, an intuitive, and she asked me a really good question. She said, if I could wave a magic wand and you had 24 hours and you were not allowed to leave the house or talk to anyone or do anything for anyone else, what would you do? And I went, and she's like, exactly.
I'm like, that sounds like heaven.
Problem, lady. She's a straight talking psychic. And I was like, oh my God, do other people know what they would do? And she said, they do. And it has nothing to do with self-improvement.
Sounds like you need to download the Hygge bingo card.
I did come to the realization that I would read, I have this book problem. So I have I'm probably exaggerating slightly, but maybe about 400 books that are currently underneath my bed. Eventually, I have joked that my bed will eventually lift up because I have so many unread books I also have read books, but there are a lot of unread books underneath my bed. And so although the psychic did say I'm no self-improvement books, but so I have, I love reading.
You can read I want to get on the ACOTAR bandwagon.
The what?
ACOTAR.
What's that?
Court of Thorn and Roses. I don't know the names, but it's been described to me as fairy smut.
Oh, okay.
So that sounds fun, and that definitely doesn't sound self-improvement.
And I love detective novels, and there are probably about 18 Louise Penny novels that I haven't read yet, and so I've read about 5. So, there's plenty, and yeah.
So these are good ways to slow down for the holidays.
Yeah.
Why would we want to slow down?
It's good for us.
I was gonna read a meme, but I forgot to save it. But it was basically the therapist saying, "Oh, you definitely have." Forget it. I'm not gonna. What's it? What's the word I'm looking for? You have burnout, but like the therapeutic level burnout, like chronic, not chronic, but anyways, you're definitely burned out. And the patient's like, "Oh, how long is that going to last? Because I've got a lot of stuff to do."
Yeah. It's kind of where, yeah.
Yeah, because it is good for you. Like that is one of the reasons. But also, a part of the holidays is this thing called joy, right? That we want to experience. And if you're busy rushing around, then you're going to miss out on all that yummy, good feeling stuff because you've just been busy the entire time.
Right. And, I'm all about being present and mindful, and I've somehow missed out on that piece for myself recently. And that's what I'm noticing is that, right, I get to do that too. I don't get to just teach other people or coach other people or help other people get to that. I also get to experience that. And it's kind of embarrassing, right? When that's your shtick, right? It's like, oh, right, for me too.
Right, because it's not just about modeling it for our clients, but what about the people directly in our life? Like,
Yeah.
thinking about our kids, modeling being able to be present,
right,
in a crazy, hectic time, or what has been crazy and hectic in the past.
Yeah. Which leads me to not the first tangent, but one tangent.
We've already had several tangents.
So, my daughter's school district, in trying to deal with what is a problem, I'm sure, of attention, is proposing a total ban on cell phones, which would mean putting cell phones in yonder bags. I'm not sure if you've been to a concert that has had yonder bags. I have.
Me too.
Having them gone the entire day, including over the lunch hour, right? Where my kid's a high school student, so this means while they're having lunch and trying to do other things. And I'm not sure the school district.
Do they keep their yonder bag on their person?
I'm assuming they would, much like you do when you're a concert that has it. But you also know, having been to a concert that has these things, this is a total shit show and a logistical madhouse to accomplish for anything more than like 10 people. And
When I experienced it, I thought, I was actually surprised. I was like, wow, they handled that pretty seamlessly.
Oh, really?
Where my anxiety,
it took an hour to get them checked in, and that was with like 20 people distributing the yonder bags. And then at the end, it didn't take that long, but that was like, there were like 50 people who were undoing the yonder bags. And so when you have schools that have like 1,600 kids and probably not that kind of staffing available to do that, I think that's going to be a problem. I think it's also not teaching kids how to use technology responsibly.
yeah.
Which
that's more where my brain goes. Yeah. And also because they're high school age, they should be learning how to use it responsibly. They should have agency, like especially on their free time at lunchtime. And I know for me as a parent, I was often texting my kids and I wanted a reply. Also, I believe we had another school shooting today.
We sure did.
And,
yes.
And speaking of concerts, this was a concert where there was an actual shooting. Like, had we not had our phones, like that would have been problematic.
Well, where my kiddo goes to school, they have privileges. They can leave campus, as I think most of the schools in the district, they can leave campus. And so the kids often use their phones for Apple Pay. That's like their means to pay for things, how they communicate with each other. There have also been some other major safety issues in the several years my daughter's been at this high school, and she's not, and she's probably at one of the safer ones in the district. and where they have reported things either to the school or to 911 during the lunch hour or directly. I would say during the lunch hour. There are some lunch pods, where they've reported a guy with a gun. They've reported some fights that were going on. Recently, two girls were being followed by some unsavory types. I mean, all kinds of stuff where it was essential for these kids to have fun.
What I'm hearing is an opportunity for you to show up at your school board and be like, hey, these are things, and this is along the lines of, well, I don't think you and I have talked about it recently, but the different ways you can show up as an activist in your life. Yeah. And generally it's starting where you are with what you have and what's important to you. And that sounds like a good opportunity to have your voice heard at the school board about these are the problems that we could have with this. I can see there being, maybe checking them in at the beginning of a class.
Well, and I talked to my daughter and she said her teachers have all figured out really creative ways to deal with this problem. So for one, here's an example. Her math teacher's like, hey, y'all want to use a calculator? You get the calculator when you give me your phone. So then they put the phone in the cubby and you get the calculator. And then the other teacher says, you don't want the quiz at the end of the class? You give me your phone, you don't get the quiz. You don't get the extra assignment at the end of or whatever. And so that's how they gain compliance.
Yeah.
So there seem to be other ways, and she says it works really well. So yeah, and it's a great way to be an activist. And I think these kids are doing a great job trying to communicate their concerns as well. And I get
I would be curious what their objective is in, why do they want to ban them?
I think there are probably several kids who just aren't paying attention or distracting and maybe causing distraction.
Well, that means that's in class. Yeah. So take it away during class, to take it away and ban it is, I don't know, a little excessive. Yeah. I would agree. Although on the other side, I was listening to a report on a school, I believe, might have been in Great Britain, and they were grade school kids. And they had them give up their phones it was a 21 day experiment.
Uh-huh.
And what happened in those 21 days, right? The first couple days were rough, but then after that, they started going outside and playing and connecting with their friends in person. And all these wonderful things came out of it. And many of them said, I'm going to delete several apps and I don't want to use my phone as much. So some good can have it, but that was a choice, which always makes a difference when someone's telling you what to do versus giving you the choice, hey, you want to try this and see what happens as an experiment?
I think that's really different. And I think it's all about agency and teaching responsibility. And is that more difficult? Absolutely. Is it worth it? I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, that was one tangent.
What was the other pre-discussed tangent you had?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
I can't look. It's on my phone.
The usual capitalism.
Capitalism sucks. Late stage capitalism is kind of rough.
Pretty rough. I was listening to another podcast that came out this week on Rich Roll. So, I'm like 5 hours left. I don't know. So.
I listened for an hour, so I at least have 5 hours left for sure.
Yeah. But it's really good. Is with this guy. Oh gosh, what's his last name? His last name is Finkelstein. And he's I think he's the founder of Shopify. So he's Canadian. So he says progress and project and all kinds of things. And he talks really fast. So he's very much into entrepreneurship. And so, it's kind of interesting to get that take on things. But he's talking about immigrants as being, really the facilitators of entrepreneurship as a means of survival. So I thought that was interesting, right? Maybe capitalism isn't so bad from that perspective.
But no, and capitalism isn't bad. Just the nature of it depending on constant growth.
Right.
What I listened to a podcast called Denizen, and they were talking about post-growth capitalism. And she's like, it's not even really post-growth. It was more, gosh, the brain not braining it. It was something along the lines of sustainable growth and different models. And they were talking about specifically OpenAI had this specific model of governance in its corporate setting. I did not prepare to talk about, but it was almost like an outside agency had a veto vote on the board, and that would keep the organization from just going straight for the bottom line being the most important. And they were also talking about redefining what fiduciary responsibility means. And shouldn't the public be a fiduciary in every entity to make sure that their interest is also being considered, and not just it's much cheaper if we dump all this stuff in the river, so we're going to do that because that's better for our shareholders.
So B Corp model.
What did you call it?
A B Corp model.
Yeah, and it was even, I think this is even a level
beyond that.
Exactly. That was interesting. I don't think I've ever shared any of those podcasts with you, Denizen.
No, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, she has good stuff on there.
I mean, and it's hard, right? It's that wonderful time of the year, right, where we feel that pressure to be a big part of the
literally and everything in excess. More lights, more presents. Go further into debt.
I mean, and even I have a notes tab sitting there with what presents I have purchased so that I can see if it's enough. What? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, granted, those things are experiences, so that's good. But still, what is this thing about enough?
Yeah.
Some of the gifts I've ever had were, they were experiences or just really thoughtful things that somebody created, or a poem that somebody wrote, or a used book that somebody got for me because they were really paying attention to.
Right, because it reminded them of you, right? It took something thoughtful. No, one of my most thoughtful gifts from this past year was a bottle of cod liver oil that my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, she was in Norway, and that's what she brought back for me. I was like, that was very thoughtful, because that is definitely something that I would be very into.
Right.
So most people are that's a strange gift. But no, it was something she knew I would like.
Right.
And of course, we all like to get a gift, but really it's about the time with our family, especially now that my kids are grown up. I don't get that as much. So
right.
It's the time together with friends.
Yeah. We don't care about the actual physical thing. In fact, it stresses me out to get more things.
Yeah.
It literally does. It stresses me out. I have to find a place for it. What if I don't like it? And then I'm stressed about that. I mean, these are the things to think about, right? We actually often don't like to get the thing.
Yes.
Capitalism is get more things, buy more things.
And you're feeling like you have to, the gift, the obligation of buying a gift, when really, no. So I would offer everyone to give yourself permission to not feel obligated to buy the gift.
Exactly.
Opt out. Do less. Download the Hooga Bingo card.
Yes, do less. I'm going to read more detective novels. Goodness knows I have plenty of them on the bedside table and underneath the bed.
Yeah.
That's my commitment for the new year. I know we're not there yet, but my commitment for the new year is literally to buy nothing new, except I have one exception. You know what it is?
You need underwear.
I'm also allowed to buy things like toothpaste and stuff like that, but nothing, nothing that I need to keep or whatever. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. It stresses me out.
So you're going to try not to buy anything new at all next year?
Except underwear,
Okay.
yeah.
Why don't you buy them right now.
I
They're probably on
I
Christmas.
could really
Yeah.
promise. Yeah, I need nothing. And this includes courses.
Well, it's an experience.
Yes, but I don't need any. I have plenty of them in the bank that I have not finished ever. So if I really need an experience, I can have them too. Speaking of which, this Thursday at 5:30 p.m., people are looking to de-stress from the holidays. Guess what? I
You can breathe with Melissa.
have a free donation if you want to. Don't feel like you have to, but if you want to, donation-based breathwork, about an hour and a half deal. Come one, come all.
It's amazing. I highly recommend. I'm sad. I'm missing this week.
No, you can't. No. It's really good. It's a good one too. It's like a total de-stress from the holidays. Yeah. We're going to scream a little. We're going to breathe a lot. Great.
It sounds like a great thing to do the week before Christmas.
Yeah. What do you got going on?
Scream into the void. I don't have any free offerings other than my podcast is slowly coming together and going out into the world. But I do have a year-end special in that I will help you craft your very own personal vision statement to help you stay on track in 2025.
That's
so that link is also in my bio. So all the links.
Yes. And where you can find my breathwork is on my website, thefullymindful.com.
Yeah. So hopefully we stayed on track enough for somebody to get something out of this. A little nugget of give yourself permission to slow down for the holidays.
I know. I hope somebody else did too.
I know I did. It's always a reminder, even though we were saying at the beginning, we're working this personal development stage where we're supporting people and being more present and mindful. And every once in a while we forget and we go off the rails.
Turns out we are human as well.
Allah. Yeah. I'm actually wearing my Festive Charlie Brown.
Oh, I'm wearing my little Santa hat earrings.
Cute. All right.
Well, I think I'm going to go watch a holiday movie tonight.
But that's the other thing I've got going on is my Mindful Media Friday newsletter. What are you watching, listening to? And there's not a link in my bio for that, but just reach out if you want to be added to that list. Let me know what you watch and how you like it, and maybe I'll put it on the list for everybody.
All right, I will. All right. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
See you later. Hey, everybody, it's Melissa, and I'm wondering if you all can relate. Have you ever caught yourself procrastinating or maybe doubting your abilities, or maybe you have a black belt inner critic like I do or have had that wants to sabotage your every move with judgment and perfectionism expectations? It might keep you stuck, it might keep you anxious and away from your full potential. The Positive Intelligence Program, PQ, is a powerful 6-week journey designed to help you quiet those saboteurs, embrace positivity, and find flow in your life. Through daily practices and weekly focuses, we'll work together to build your mental fitness. The PQ app will guide you every step of the way and support you, and you'll be supported either by myself in a one-on-one or in a small group of like-minded individuals where you can share insights and progress. So reach out, contact me at info@thefullymindful.com to find out how we can work together one-on-one or in a small group today.